I'm super excited to just be, you know, supporting the NBA, and I'm just excited to bring you guys on a journey. What's up?
Yeah. Hey man, you I like your YouTube, man. That's lit. What's up, yo? 715G in this.
What's going on, guys? Guess what? Today, officially, the NBA season has started. So we are going to be checking out the Knicks versus the Nets game, or really, I should say, the Nets versus the Knicks. And we are going to holler at my man Jeremy Lin. Is a, you know, basically, if you guys don't know, Jeremy Lin is originally played for the Knicks. He got really famous on the Knicks, and then he went to Houston, then he went to the Lakers, then he went to Charlotte, then he went to Brooklyn. He had a good season last season, but he got injured, so he only played 30-something games. But this is the year. Yo, man, we got some people on the block, man, and you know, I appreciate that they appreciate it. Can I get those two, please? And you want anything? You got it. You want one? No. Oh, sorry. Let me just get one. Still to this day, there is something about sports, particularly the game of basketball, that I love so much. And it's allowed me to connect with so many different people and different things. And man, this is one of my favorite things about being in New York City, man. We're gonna go ahead to the Garden, Madison Square Garden. It's on 34th Street, the Garden. So let's take the train. You got your card, Ryan? Let's see if I get on the first flight, man. I got it. All right, we got an emergency, guys. Ryan ran out of money on his card, so you're gonna swipe my Supreme Metro card. Woo! No, all right, so if you guys know the way the New York subway works, it goes either up or down, and you have to make sure you get on the right side, because it's not like, you know, the trains are either going to go downtown or uptown. We needed to go uptown. It's all good. Actually, we were headed the right way. Go ahead. Y'all YouTubing? Y'all YouTubing? Why, yes. Yes, I am YouTubing.
Well, look, best hot dog in New York, but we're not going to get it because you want to spend $7 on a hot dog instead.
It's not happening, Ryan.
Give it up.
Real quick, we're gonna check out the Pepsi food hall, then we're going to the bathroom and eating $9 hot dogs. You guys, we got a coconut Thai basil donut right quick. Okay, so we're headed into Madison Square Garden, you guys. I'm super excited. We're gonna get through the security checkpoint. We're gonna go get the post-game passes, enjoy the game, and man, I'm just super excited. Ryan, you excited?
Yeah.
This is the new anointed king of New York, Knicks basketball, Porzingis. Yeah! preseason games. They're not so that they don't check where you sit that often. So, you know, we were kind of by some loud people. Just wanted to know what we were. Got the players' passes. Let's say what's up. You know, these are the equivalent of having 2 chains right now because I got 2 passes. Yo, what's going on, guys? I'm here with the starting point guard for the Brooklyn Nets, Jeremy Lin. Jay, it's been good to see you, man. It's been a minute, about a year and a half. Real quick, for the people who have not been able to keep up with the this and that, what is like the major theme, I guess, in the past, you know, year and a half? Like, you know, for people that are like, oh yeah, I knew he went here, but then.
I would say for me, Charlotte was definitely a high point, and so I wanted to get an opportunity to come to the Nets and kind of see what I could do in terms of being a starter and getting a bigger role. And last year was a tough year just with injuries. I was out for, you know, the majority of the season, and you know, I'm looking to redeem kind of what happened last year in season 2 with the Nets.
Mm-hmm. You played about like 35 games last season, but you played well in those 35, right? I mean, like some people would say you played. I mean, you played.
Yeah, I would say given just how many minutes I was allowed to play, I was pretty happy with, I guess, the way it turned out, but definitely not happy with the overall season in terms of our standing.
Right. So I guess moving forward, man. I mean, follow the Brooklyn Nets. I mean, what can you tell people? Because of course, a lot of people is probably on the internet and you see the power rankings and everything like that, and it's like, what can you say to
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's been tough for us just to get that credit maybe from the outside, but I think at the end of the day, we're not really too worried about it. We see surprises all the time in every, you know, sport, and so really it doesn't matter too much what people, if anything, it helps us a little bit more because we're just flying under the radar. But we just want to play the right way and see how good we can be, and we'd love for you guys all to come and support us and check out our team, and hopefully we make you guys proud.
Yo, man, all right, we got to ask the question that the internet is asking.
Okay.
What's up with the hair?
I just released an article, you know, not long ago, and for me it was just basically I saw somebody with this style like 2 years ago, and or maybe a year and a half ago, and I wanted to, you know, kind of do it at the end, because once you dread it, you can never go back. So I was just, you know, went through the braids and the man bun and all that different stuff, and I was like, man, at the end, I'm gonna dread it. So I've been waiting for like a year and a half to do it, and you know, for me, I'm ready to go back to short hair, and I felt like that was my cue to go ahead and get it dreaded, and then I'll keep it for a season, and then probably go back to short hair again.
So, all right, so for the people who don't know, because some people, all right, this is what I was like reading on Twitter, some people were like, okay, is that the Bay Area fight capitalism haircut? Right, because that's more of the Rasta, right?
Yeah.
Or is it the Migos, you know, the Migos, or is it Pokemon inspired with the Pidgeotto? Or would you say it was something else? Like,
honestly, like, I'm not even really into, I don't even know everybody that you mentioned. Like, I'm not that into
like the pop culture, right?
Yeah, pop culture. Like, I pretty much just at this point in my life, I just do whatever makes me happy, whatever I think is cool, whatever I like. So I wear, and, you know, clothes or my hair or whatever, you know, just in a way that I feel like, oh, that's cool to me, I like it.
Right.
So there isn't some hidden agenda other than kind of what I wrote in you know, in my piece, just how I've seen that this whole topic of hair has kind of taken me into a deeper dive to understand my teammates and their culture. But beyond that too, like the origin of everything was just to have fun and try something new and go for it.
Is it right now kind of like in a weird place right now, because obviously, you know, like what's everything going on with the country, right, and everything, like to be just focus on the sports when it seems like like half the questions I would imagine you guys are being asked as pro athletes are not even sport related. Just right now, more than a couple years ago.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the big reason why I wanted to write something in terms of talking about my hair or what it means, because at this point we have so much division, we have hatred, we have racial discrimination, we have injustice everywhere, and so I feel like this is a crucial time where, I think every athlete is trying to figure out how do I use my voice? How do I use my platform? That's kind of the big question that, a lot of us are trying to figure out. So I felt like that was an opportunity for me to be able to tie it into kind of what I've been learning through this experiment with my hair.
Right. Do you feel like, and I got to ask you the question, because obviously you're the only Asian in the NBA right now, you're one of the most visible Asians in pro sports, pro-American sports, right? Very, very few, here and there, but, you're most visible. Do you feel like anything you say is representing, because there is this kind of a stereotype that Asian Americans, not saying that it's their fault, are kind of like disengaged from national issues.
Yeah.
Are you saying that maybe as Asians we should be more engaged, or are you just I'm just saying, are you more just for me, I'm just showing you?
I would say for the most part this is how I feel, this is where I'm at, and I don't have all the answers, which is why the tone of kind of what I've been saying is I'm learning, I'm trying to figure things out, I'm trying to figure out how to use my voice, and so I'm going through this process of learning everything. But then at the same time, I do feel like eventually I want to get to the point where I can be a legit spokesperson or ambassador or really champion a certain cause. And I do feel like Asians and Asian Americans can be more involved. I think that is definitely a very fair statement. I think that we can be more involved in everything that the country is going through. Obviously nobody's perfect, but we can start being a little bit more bold or trying to spend a little bit more time in someone else's shoes, and I think that will just be a big part of, that's a good step in the right direction. And at the end of the day, even though we're not necessarily at the forefront of all the attention that's going on, we still have responsibilities as people to love the people around us, to learn about them, to care about them. And I think that's one way that we can become involved or more involved in the process.
Mm-hmm, absolutely. But so I guess, what do you think? Do you feel like a lot of your peers are looking forward to all the questions, or do you think not everybody? Some people are like, yo, they ask me this, I'm not even trying to touch it.
I don't think I think some of them feel very passionate about it, and then others are just trying to learn, especially the younger ones. The older ones, we've been around a little bit longer, we kind of feel like we know more of what to say or more of where we want to see things go, but a lot of the young guys on our team are just kind of deer in headlights, trying to figure it out and learn and just keep their distance.
Mm-hmm. Well, I guess, man, what is any final words, man? Because it's been so crazy, because I feel like we've been on such a journey. I've been following you for, I don't know, obviously since the Harvard days, man, and it's just where we're at, and even me with my channel, my channel is primarily Asian based. I keep an eye, I know what's happening in the big picture, but I just feel comfortable only talking about stuff that people, except for me, right?
Yeah.
And I always feel right now, we're talking about, it's such a interesting time to be an Asian figurehead, because like you said, we're not necessarily immediately put in the mix of everything.
Yeah.
So then you see different people almost be okay, now we should be on this side, or we should be on that side, or should we even pick a side at all? So it's just an interesting place to be in, I guess, as a, some people would say uncomfortable place to be in this cultural milieu.
Yeah, that's a great way to describe it, and I think it's not necessarily always about size per se, because I think at the end of the day, the more that we focus on sides, the more that there will be division, because it's one team versus the other. But I think the real work that we're trying to accomplish right now is unifying people. It's not hey, you're on another team, so I'm against you. It's no, we're gonna become we're gonna bring people together and be on the same team, because we're gonna spend time learning about each other. I didn't understand a lot of other cultures until I became friends with them, or I would go hang out with them, or I would go to their parents' house, and so these are the discussions and the conversations that need to happen in order for us to get to a better place where we're respecting each other more and moving in the right direction.
Absolutely, man. I feel you. Yo, Jay, before we end, I gotta ask you, is the Chinese food better in Brooklyn than in Charlotte?
Oh yeah, no question.
Where do you? I mean, is there any spots that
I
you
go
like?
to Flushing. My grandma lives out there too, so I got some spots out in Flushing that I like to go to. So.
That's what's up, man. All right, yo,
Cool.
Jeremy.
Appreciate it, man. Good to see you again.
Cool, it's cool. It's always good to see Jeremy, and every time I see him, I ask him the questions that maybe he's been asked before, that maybe he hasn't too. So it was good. Ryan's doing it. Ryan's getting the $1 hot dog. Woo!
Yeah. $1 hot dog.